online. Shannon can see it, so she can get into it, what we're doing and how we're doing it next week. And you guys, it's what we call transparent learning and revisiting the learning, so that you get whatever we're doing, you can just go back and find out how it's done. Key features of what we've done today so far. The bread, specialty bread, is, what was this one called?
Baguette.
Baguette, and it's from? France. Good. Alright. You can get softer ones. This one's quite soft. Or you can get really crispy ones as well. And if you get crispy ones, it's because it's been a bit more water's been added to it. Whereas soft ones is made with some milk. The milk softens the crust, whereas the water makes it really crispy. Okay, so we've cut the bread. I've read the recipe. I've cut the bread. The first thing I have to do is to grill it. Now next week, for your for the arts festivals, we can take the breads already toasted. So as you see, I've not coloured it completely. All right, a wee bit of colour on the other side, but I wouldn't be going to more than that. The reason why, it goes a bit tough, so the less toasting you do, it's better. And the other thing is that when people eat, you do really want some nice, to be soft. All right. So that's how we're going to do it. So we'll cut and we will toast here at school. We will also make up the roux sauce, and the roux sauce with your recipe says that you melt the butter, add flour, salt, pepper, and then cook the flour for a bit and then add your milk. I do it a simpler way, all right, and all you really need is putting all of those ingredients together, use a whisk, put it onto a element, and just keep whisking it up until it's nice and thick, because you want it thick. This is thick, okay? So you want it nice and thick, but you don't want it lumpy. So if you don't use a whisk, you'll find you'll get a lumpy sauce. You've got to use that. The roux method is really good. The key is, though, that whichever method you use, you must cook it, boil it, for about 3 to 5 minutes. And if you remember the pastry and the cake information, you have to cook that flour. So if you don't boil the sauce for 3 to 5 minutes, you're not going to cook the flour, and therefore you're going to have a raw flour taste. You don't want that either. Then we put in 2 cheeses. One's the Gruyere cheese, which is this one here, and that is a semi-hard cheese. Now what that is, that means that it'll grate really nice, but it's also very, very full in flavour. The other one is Parmesan cheese, and you tend to get this one already sliced or grated. And the reason is it's very hard to cut, and you can't slice it very well. Okay, so that's why we buy it like that. This one here, a lot of people don't really like the Parmesan cheese because it is very, very full in flavour, but it's actually cheaper if you use this. Because it's got such high flavour in it, you don't use as much cheese. Makes sense, doesn't it? Okay, so it might be more costly, and it might, when you open it up, it smells a bit funny, but it actually is just more flavoured cheese. Alright, so they're the 2 cheeses that we use. We also talked about last week, if we were going to make 200 odd sandwiches, which is what you're going to do again next week, you must organise your workstation so it's exactly the same. So how my workstation is now is how your workstation is going to be. We've got the bread, we've got the mustard, we've got the ham. I had the sauce here, but I need the camera, okay, to be there. So I've just moved the sauce over. We've got the extra cheese, and we have got the capsicum, the preserved capsicum that you have actually done. Okay, as I've said to you before, get one of these and put your dirty equipment, etc. in. I've filled it up with hot water so that I can just keep putting my stuff in there, but it just contains everything. Makes your workstation much nicer. Okay? Alright, so I've got this, the salamander is on as well. So what you're going to do is when you're doing 200, as you know, you don't try and do one at a time because it's just going to waste time. And I also want to show you the two different cheeses. This one, cheese is the mustard. This one here is the Dijon mustard. So it is mustard seed and it is grounded to a very fine paste. Whereas the French mustard, or the whole grain mustard, the grain is softened. Some of it has been smashed up to be a nice sort of, smooth form, but not all of it. Okay, so it's a bit of taste. I quite like a bit of texture, so I've put whole grain on that, but I think we should try both. Alright, so that you can make an informed decision. I've got the ham already sliced up so that it will actually fit quite nicely on my bread. So next week this is what we will be doing. Before we go we will slice the ham. So all you need to do is to pick it up and put it onto your sandwich. Alright, it's an open sandwich, it's not putting two together. Alright, and the whole idea is to make sure that there's no wastage. And also to take off the fat. So I've already cleaned up the fat as well. Alright, we'll have the cheese grated before we go, etc. So first on here, and then we're going to put the mustard on first. Okay, so I'll do some with smooth mustard. So whoever is doing this, you will smooth it with the mustard. Okay, and then somebody else would then put on the ham, etc. Okay, so you just keep moving it down the line. So, couple with the smooth or Dijon mustard, couple with the whole grain. Now, if you do baked ham, usually you serve it with mustard. So mustard is what we call an accompaniment to ham. So we're doing a rugby referees dinner very soon, and we'll be doing a baked ham. So we will be serving the mustard with that as well. Okay, once we've done that, on goes the ham. Much quicker if you have got everything prepped up. Really important just to prep it so that you can just get straight in and get your work done. Okay, once that's done, then your sauce. Why am I wearing gloves? Why is it important?
Because you want working beforehand.
Yes.
High risk food.
High risk food, yep. What else? Is it going to be, are things going to be fully cooked again?
Pardon?
Everything's cooked, isn't it? So nothing's going to be cooked again. We're going to heat it or melt the
Cross-contamination.
melt the cheese bits so we don't want cross-contamination. Yep. Okay, so we've got two cheeses in there. Oh. Obviously, you fellas are prettier. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Okay. Put it in there. Dip it. Put some more cheese on it. Okay, now because you're going to be serving it hot, this is why you're going to be cooking it up there, but we prep it up so that the cooking doesn't take very long at all. So we've only got a small oven in there, we don't have our salamander. Alright, so it's going to be a wee bit more difficult, but it's not beyond us. We can do anything. Okay, one piece on. Now, don't worry about if you've got some of the rosemary or the capers or the peppercorns in there as well. That just adds to the flavour. And I had some really good comments about your peppercorn, your capsicum. I think that one's already done. So this one's already done here. Zap it into underneath the salamander and never go away from it. Once you put anything in the grill, you need to make sure that you are always there to watch it. It's so quick, and it's because your heat is hitting the food and just bouncing straight off it. Alright? So this is the food that you are going to make, plus everything else that you've made. Alright, so you've got your lamb recipe that you've done your prawn recipe, you've done your wraps. Alright, and what else have you done? Your BLT and the beef one. I don't think we're doing the beef one. The beef one's going to be the lamb. Okay? So, and as soon as it's done, it's straight on the plate and then you're serving out. So I've got to remember to see if our U10s can help us out with the service. Alright, because you guys are cooking this and the blacks at the same time. And how you do that is, again, you're going to be collaborating and working out how it's going to be done. Alright? Here they are. Alright, and we'll be putting them straight onto a